Preseason week 1 is in the books. Now, what you don't want to do, Badake, is overreact
100%.
and completely move people off your rankings, off your boards because of preseason week 1. But what you also don't want to do is not react at all. Like you want to see what's been shown to you with the starters and make some sort of changes. So that's what we're doing today.
Correct.
We're going to give you 6 players that have moved in our rankings after week 1 and tell you why.
Correct.
Let me start off by saying something I don't like saying very much. And that's, I think I was wrong on Antonio Gibson.
Right.
I think I was wrong on Antonio Gibson. There is a kicker here at the very end.
Good
but
kicker.
I'm not too proud to admit when I have potentially been wrong, and I might have been wrong about Gibson, okay? He is moving down my rankings. He was my RB23, so to be fair, I didn't have him in my top 20 in redraft or anything I did in Dynasty. He was my RB23. He is now my RB26 in redraft, okay? And he could move down further. Again, there will be a kicker later I'll talk about. But 3 things really have happened here, okay? Number 1, the fumble issue. What is the one thing you did not want to see Antonio Gibson do if you own him in Dynasty or redraft? I mean, like the one thing you did not want to see him do is fumble the ball, okay?
Yeah.
Gibson led all running backs last year in fumbles with 6, all right? Talent has never been the issue. Talent's never been, we've never looked at Antonio Gibson and said, man, he's not talented. Man, he doesn't have burst. He doesn't have explosion. He doesn't have great long run speed. Like, that's never, ever been the issue. Right. And I still wholeheartedly believe he is the most talented running back in this backfield, but that doesn't always lead to opportunities, right? Because as we're seeing, that's not what Ron Rivera is potentially looking for, right? Talking about Antonio Gibson, converted wide receiver to a running back, really started to get the position towards the end of his rookie year, had a bunch of fumbles last year, comes in this game, fumbles on his second carry, and then is benched. Completely benched is Brian Robinson for the rest of the time with the starters. And to be fair, Brian Robinson played pretty well. Yeah. 41 total yards, 4.3 yards per carry, and a touchdown. What Ron Rivera wants in his running back room is not the flash. He wants consistency. He wants someone who can run through the hole, attack the hole, not kind of bounce around and see what you can get. And honestly, to me, this is a full-blown 3-way. It is a 3-way, Badake. It truly is. Like, JD obviously had his role. He's still going to be there on third downs. Brian Robinson's going to be involved on the goal line, and Gibson is 100% still going to be involved, but it might look a little bit differently. So here's the kicker that I was going to say. If on week 2 of preseason, the starters come out and it's Brian Robinson, not Antonio Gibson, you need to move Antonio Gibson even further down on your rankings. But if we see this as just, hey, tap on the wrist, let's see what you can do, right? How can you respond? And Gibson comes out, there is more hope. But at this very moment, he has moved down my rankings, and I think it is reasonable to say that there is concern. I still think Gibson's the most talented, but that doesn't always lead to opportunities.
Yeah.
This is not what the coaching staff wants. They just want someone consistent. So anyway, Gibson definitely moved down my rankings, and it was hard to say, but I think I might have been wrong on him.
Yeah, I was a guy that was always off Gibson, didn't like the thought process of getting Brian Robinson, Jamie McKissick coming back. It is a full-blown 3-way.
That's right.
So I always had Gibson around the way you had him. He was my RB25 before everything happened. Now he's my RB26. So I do move him down one spot. I think it's going to get really interesting for some people.
Sure.
Coming here very soon. My first guy that's actually going up after preseason, I think everyone is talking about him. Everyone's raving about him. Zay Jones for the Jacksonville Jaguars was my wide receiver 88. Now my wide receiver 74. I think this is it's a big jump. But what's happening is that he's running with the ones. Okay, 2 receptions, 47 yards. He was targeted 4 times. He was on the field for all 25 snaps with Trevor Lawrence. Obviously, Christian Kirk wasn't on the field, but that's really the only person that was missing was Christian Kirk on that field, right? Was Zay Jones playing the Christian Kirk role? Was Zay Jones just clearly the number 2? Another person that was also on the field was Marvin Jones, but he wasn't getting too much of a look at. Trevor Lawrence wasn't really targeting him. The first play we saw was a play action. Zay Jones, 15-plus yards down the sideline with Trevor Lawrence. The very next play, T-Law overshoots him. Could have been a catch. And then he was also targeted in the red zone where Zay Jones almost had a spectacular one-handed catch. The ball hits out his hand. Is Marvin Jones really the wide receiver 2 on this team? And I don't think anyone can say that with confidence here. I don't think anyone ever said that with confidence. I think this gives us more of a clear pathway to say, hey,
yeah,
maybe it's time to look at Zay Jones. Maybe it's not Marvin Jones. You know, maybe Zay can come in and be getting all the work and all the opportunity and he's moving around, mind you. He was in the slot, he was on the outside. Zay Jones could be the guy. Keep in mind, it is preseason. You have to take everything with a grain of salt.
Yes.
But he could be a really, really nice late round pick if it does continue to go this way, especially in best ball. You know, maybe get some exposure in him. He can be a guy that has spike weeks. You know, could he be what was it? Jamal Agnew type vibe that happened last year with all these spike weeks happening. You know, Zay Jones going to be that guy who's going to be more consistency. So for me, I really like Zay Jones, a guy that could be maybe one of the last picks in your redrafts, one of the last picks in your best ball drafts. Keep an eye out and let's see what happens in week 2 and week 3 in preseason.
Yeah, that's what I'm really curious about. Like if Kirk comes back, like when Kirk comes back, and what will it look like then? That's what I want to see. But I agree, definitely someone to be on your radar. All right, let's talk about Romeo Doubs. He is moving up my rankings.
The Dubs, baby.
He was my wide receiver 84, around that territory. But to be honest, I hadn't really adjusted my redraft rankings based off of the hype just yet. I wanted to see preseason first. He's now my wide receiver 53, and that is a huge jump, That's massive. Jump. But I think there is reasons to take a shot on him around wide receiver 50 onwards, okay? You've heard when there's smoke, there's fire. What do you do when there's just fire? Like,
stop, drop, and roll.
What do you do at that point? I mean, it's not just smoke that we're hearing about Romeo Doubs out of camp. It's literally fire I feel like every other day, training camp, preseason game. I mean, we see something incredible from Romeo Doubs, not only from training camp, but how about his quarterback? How about Aaron Rodgers, who, by the way, does not give out praise to rookies almost ever, but he went out and said, I mean, look, Romeo Doubs basically makes a wow play every single practice. This isn't new. You're seeing this every single day. And also keeping in mind, I know they drafted Christian Watson, but you have to think about this. Who's had time to have chemistry with Aaron Rodgers? It's not been Watson, because Watson's been injured. He's been on the PUP list. So Doubs has been the guy who has been, first off, facing one-on-one with guys like Jerry Alexander, right? Trying to get into the game. And he's been the one building chemistry with Aaron Rodgers. So Christian Watson just came off the PUP list. But I've mentioned this on the Dynasty channel many times. I've said this. Doubs already was a better wide receiver, not an athlete, a better wide receiver than Christian Watson was coming out of college, especially as a pass catcher. You see Christian Watson drop a lot of passes. He actually had the highest drop rate of any wide receiver in this class. So ton of a development ahead of him. Incredible athlete. But Romeo Doubs could present the more instant opportunity on this team. And who's standing in his way? Allen Lazard is a wide receiver 1.
Yep.
Who's a wide receiver 2? Is it Sammy Watkins? Is it Randall Cobb? I mean, I don't know. I don't see why Doubs doesn't have an opportunity. Had a great showing week 1 in preseason, over 40 yards and a touchdown. And I mean, some of those, he could have had more. I mean, there was a ball that was very well defended. I thought it was pass interference, to be honest, but he could have had even more. He looks impressive. When there's reports and the eye test pass and the opportunity is there, I don't know what else you need to take a shot on this guy. Romeo Doubs definitely worth a look in. And he very well could be like your wide receiver 5 or 6, on your fantasy roster this year. So take a shot on him. I definitely will be.
Yeah. I like Romeo Doubs. Very, very interesting prospect out of college out there in Nevada with Carson Strong. We'll see what he can do with Aaron Rodgers here. My second guy on the list is Amon-Ra St. Brown, moving up. Not a massive move up, but just gives me more confidence, more reassurance. I've always been a guy that loved Amon-Ra, the sun god. Played 10 snaps with Jared Goff on Sunday, or technically Saturday. I actually don't know. Was it Sunday or Saturday? He played 10 snaps with Jared Goff in that first preseason game, tell you that much. So the one thing I wanted to say is that, once again, he's not moving up a lot, but it looks like he's going to be picking off right where he left off, from last year. Okay, DeAndre Swift was in the game. Jamal Williams was in the game. DJ Chark was in the game. The only person that was not in that game that we know is going to be starting week 1 with him is TJ Hawkinson. He was out with the injury. He's going to be dealing with this. They kept him out for precaution. But in reality, it just feels like he's just going to be a good safety net, good flex option moving forward. He's not going to be, once again, this guy that's going to be getting all these massive targets. I think that's what's everyone's big concern. Well, he was getting super hyper targeted when Swift, TJ Hawkinson was all out. I think he's going to be a very, very good safety blanket for Jared Goff, right? And let's not forget about one of the best prospects on their team, Jameson Williams. He's also going to be coming back, probably say November, December. By that time, we're really going to understand what this offense is going to be and how this offense is going to work. Once again, not a massive jump, but I'm really comfortable starting him as my wide receiver 2 in the first half of the season, see how he continues to roll. And then once Jameson comes back or TJ does come back, maybe he goes down to a flex, whatever the case may be. But once again, really comfortable and really excited of what we saw. Looked more confident in this offense. Same thing with Jared Goff. Looks very confident. A lot of play action with Amon-Ra St. Brown. And what do we know about Amon-Ra? He was a great route runner as well, good slot receiver, and that's where he was playing. He was moved all over the field. Another thing I want to say right before, DJ Chark is not a threat whatsoever, in my opinion. And maybe it's too early. It is preseason. But I do not believe DJ Chark is a threat in my eyes. So I'm really comfortable. My wide receiver 33, now he's my wide receiver 30. So only moves up 3 spots in my rankings.
I like it. I have Amon-Ra as my wide receiver 28, so I'm all aboard as well.
I mean, you're higher than him, and I was higher than him. Then, I really like Amon-Ra.
I'm there. You know what I thought about recently is like you look at Amon-Ra, who could he have? We always try and remember how quarterbacks have targeted certain wide receivers.
Yeah.
How about Robert Woods?
Yeah, I know exactly where you're going there. Robert Woods.
Why can't Amon-Ra St. Brown be Robert Woods for Jared Goff for a while here? Mm-hmm. Just a consistent guy who gets targeted quite often.
This team looks really good, by the way. They look really. I know it's preseason, but it's just maybe it's the Hard Knocks hype. It's the preseason.
I actually put a tweet up. I don't know if you saw it, but I was like, here's how my rankings have changed after watching episode 1. I just put quarterback 1, Jared Goff, wide receiver 1, Amon-Ra. Because how do you not watch Hard Knocks and be like, this is a Super Bowl winning team? You know, it's just so fun.
Literally, it's like, oh gosh, you just want everything for them. Anyways, yeah.
All right, let's talk about George Pickens. He is moving up my rankings.
How's it go? He goes like this?
He was doing the AB, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So you've probably heard me talk about this guy way too much if you have been subscribed to us over on the Dynasty channel. But he was my wide receiver 42 in redraft. Now my wide receiver 39. So it didn't move up significantly. But keep in mind, I already had him way higher than a lot of people. Okay, so give me a damn break.
Right.
Things that changed for me. Number 1, talent was never the question. Okay, it never has been. It never was. All right, we do 2 sets of rookie rankings, Badake.
Mm-hmm.
First is talent evaluation, and then we do post-NFL draft rankings.
Correct.
In our talent evaluation, he was my wide receiver 2, okay? April 16th, I remember making this video. I'll try and link it if I remember. But I told you guys he's my wide receiver 2 in this class. Dude is an absolute alpha X, dog mentality wide receiver, okay? If you look at the last 2 classes of wide receivers, he has the best drop rate of anyone in the last 2 classes, including Jamar Chase, including Devonta Smith. I comped him to AJ Green, and people told me he's going to be a wide receiver 3 on a team at best. Fair enough, okay? But I'm kind of taking a little victory lap right now. It's only 1 preseason game, I'm aware, but this is a dude who, I'm trying to say, talent's never been the issue. If it wasn't for the ACL injury, he would have been the first wide receiver off the board. No questions in my mind, okay? So really the issue isn't talent, it's depth chart. That was always the question. When will he get opportunities here in Pittsburgh? And to me, again, you talk about what do you do when there's only fire with Romeo Doubs? That's been the same with George Pickens. George Pickens is constantly showing incredible highlights at camp, incredible highlights in preseason, great reports. Everyone loves him. He's a threat. And in my opinion, he's already surpassed Chase Claypool as a wide receiver 2 on this team. Okay? All the quarterbacks love throwing it his way. Why wouldn't they? You got Mitch, Kenny, Mason. They all love throwing it his way because you want to get the best out of each throw, each opportunity that you have in camp. Okay. And none of these quarterbacks have any chemistry with Deontay, have any chemistry with Chase Claypool. You don't have to sit here and tell me, well, they already got No, they do not. None of them have chemistry with any of these wide receivers. Okay. Now they're building chemistry with George Pickens. To me, you put on a show like that, the 3 for 43 and a touchdown, that toe tap touchdown, you don't get less opportunities. I know it's preseason, but you're about to get more opportunities, okay? And by the way, if he starts on the field when we see Deontay and Chase in that lineup next preseason game, lock him in. I mean, he is going to be a threat year one as a rookie. So for me, George Pickens, someone I'm more than happy being like my wide receiver 4 or 5 on my fantasy team.
Yeah.
I want to take a shot. I want a chance on the upside, the unknowns. The talent's always been there. I'm definitely willing to take a shot on him. And again, like if he comes out with the starters next week again,
it's going to be,
100%. You're probably going to see him a little bit higher. I want to get him inside my top 35, but I can't right now.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I like George Pickens. I think second half of the season when we really understand this offense, once Chase Claypool is gone, he is skyrocketing. That's when the gates are going to open to the George Pickens kingdom.
It might take a while, but I think he's already surpassed him personally. But we'll see. We don't know that for sure.
I'm definitely there with you. Just got to wait until he moves and walks. My last and final, I guess, player, really more offense, is the Eagles' offense. And I really want to break it down for you because take it with a grain of salt. Once again, I really want to emphasize this. But one thing I've always backed was Jalen Hurts. You know, this offense, I always thought he was going to be a better passer. He was going to take a next big step. It was against the Jets. It was preseason. Was all the defensive players playing? What was really happening? All I know is it looked phenomenal. Phenomenal. 6 for 6, 80 yards and a touchdown. Mind you, he actually ran it for the touchdown, and then it got called back for a holding. But wow. Every single throw, the poise in the pocket, the way he was running outside the pocket, the way he threw the ball on the run, accuracy, huge. Once again, small sample size. Can this be consistent? Who knows? We got to wait and see. So my biggest takeaways here, A.J. Brown. I was always skeptical. I didn't actually really love the move from him going to, the Titans to the Eagles. He was my wide receiver 11. He's up to my wide receiver 10 now. Not a massive jump. Running back, Miles Sanders, he does move up already because of Antonio Gibson. He moved down. But I do believe he can go higher. I wonder if there's going to be a conversation. I know Zach was really high on, or not really high, but he believes in Miles Sanders this year a little bit. But, does he somehow surpass the A.J. Dillons, the James Connors in rankings, maybe sometime close in the next 2 weeks? In redraft perspective, I'm not sure. Just a question to throw out to the community. But once again, the confidence, the swagger, the throwing on the run with the accuracy was huge. I cannot stress this. I do believe he is going to be a better passer. Everything that we saw, a very small sample size, but I am believing in the Hurts train. I am there. Consistency is key. Can that happen within the season? Week 1, week 2? I don't know, but I'm hoping.
Yeah.
I'm hoping. Really, really am hoping.
Yeah.
And by the way, Jalen Hurts is my quarterback 4. I can't move him any higher. He was already my quarterback 4 before this in redraft. I'm not moving him higher than that, just FYI.
Yeah. I mean, I can't say that they didn't look good for sure. I mean, they looked great. And I'm someone who in redraft, I'm fine with Hurts. But in Dynasty, I still question his long-term ability to be a franchise quarterback.
Yeah.
Preseason against the Jets, hopefully you look good. But I get it. They did look good, right? So fair enough. All right, guys. Obviously, there's more things that have changed in our rankings. But, if you want our full rankings, you can sign up to our Patreon with the link in the description. Constantly changing, updating. We got redraft, rookie, dynasty, rookie superflex, best ball. We got it all. So
it's all
check out our Patreon in the link below. Make sure you read the tiers. But let us know who's risen and fallen for you. Why don't you comment down below? Yo, what's good? Thanks for watching. We got a lot more videos.
A lot more.
If you want more videos.
Watch it.
You can also subscribe.
Right now.
If you want to.
You need to.
And lastly, don't forget that you can sign up to support the show and get exclusive content by going to patreon.com/fantasylandfam.